There is still time to correct this most grievous misunderstanding, Mr. Carter. The dagger of Amun-Ra must be returned to Egypt.
Stay out of my way, or I'll thrash you within an inch of your life.
Surely you can find a way to accommodate everybody's wishes.
Who are you to tell me what I can do with my own property?
Your property? What authority did you have?
The authority of the Egyptian Antiquities Service. So if you don't like it, I suggest you waddle on back to Egypt and complain to your own government.
Would it not be better to work this out diplomatically?
This isn't a case for diplomacy. It's a case for your acceptance of the situation.
It is not just my acceptance at issue, Mr. Carter. Frankly, some of our people are quite upset, moved to take drastic measures if need be.
Are you threatening me, you malodorous little man?
Mr. Carter, there are some who would rather fight back than allow their country to be stripped of its national treasures.
Any fat savage who lays a finger on my exhibit or threatens me will find himself in deep trouble. Do I make myself clear?
As clear as the water of the oasis, Mr. Carter.
Be careful with that steamer trunk, young man. It's exceedingly valuable.
It sure is heavy, Mr. Carrington. You got gold bars in here or something?
The contents of my trunk are not your concern. Now be a good lad and take it to my taxi. The Countess is waiting.
New Orleans, 1 week later.
Are you sure you've got everything?
Yes, Daddy.
You've got Sam's address at the paper?
Yes, Daddy.
You've got the money I gave you?
Yes, Daddy. Don't worry.
Put some money in your shoe. New York's a big city, and there's a lot of crime there.
Look, I'm going straight to the paper. What could possibly go wrong?
Let me give you a little more money, just in case.
Dad, I've got to go.
Godspeed, Laura. Call me as soon as you get there.
I'll be fine, Dad. I'm going to make you proud of me.
I already am, honey.
Excuse me, dear, are you a secretary?
Actually, I'm starting a new job as a reporter for the New York Daily Register News Tribune. My name's Laura Bow.
How nice. I'm Irmgard. Is this your first trip to the big city?
Am I that obvious? How could you tell?
By the way you keep glancing out the window, dear. I did the same thing the first time I came to New York. The tall buildings, the people rushing around, it was all so exciting. Then I stepped off the train and got mugged.
How? awful.
It's the New York experience. Thank you, dear. You're very kind. I've enjoyed traveling with you.
Do you need any help getting home?
No, dear. I'll be fine. Thank you.
You're sure you'll be okay?
Yes, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodness gracious! My suitcase!
Can you spare a dime, miss?
Certainly, sir. I'm always ready to help those who are less fortunate.
Well, that's just peachy. Give me all your money then.
Excuse me?
Hand it over.
This seems very unfair.
Welcome to New York, kid.
I'm not gonna let a little bad luck ruin my day. Hello, New York. Laura Bow has arrived. My destiny awaits. Nothing can stop me now. I really want to thank you for hiring me, Mr. Augustini.
For hiring you? I don't even know who you are.
I'm Laura Bow. I believe you know my father, John Bow.
Ah, John Bow's daughter. Now I remember. How is he?
He's fine, and he says hello. He wanted to know if you still had that newspaper clipping on your wall about the explosion of the Hindenburg building in New Orleans.
Yes, your father was the first cop on the scene of the explosion, and he let me into the wreckage so I could cover it for the paper. I rescued Rupert Hindenburg from his burning office, wrote about it, and made a name for myself as a reporter. I owe John a lot for that. Think you could handle being a reporter for a big city paper?
I'll do my best, sir.
We usually just hire men for this job. It's rough out there, and you're kinda small.
I can do it, Mr. Augustini. Just give me a chance.
All right, as a favor to my old pal John, but I'll be keeping a close eye on you.
Thank you, sir.
For your first assignment, I want you to write about a burglary. Some kind of fancy knife was stolen from the Lion Decker Museum. I'll arrange for you to attend the fundraiser at 7 o'clock tonight for their new Egyptian exhibit. Everyone will be there. Tell them you're covering the society news so they won't clam up on you.
You won't regret it, sir. I have a nose for news.
Just keep your nose out of trouble. Here's your official notebook and your pencil. It already has Crodfaller's notes in it. Have the story ready by 3 tomorrow, or you're out of a job.
Laura Baines, right?
Laura Bow, sir. And I believe you have the advantage.
Crodfaller rhubarb, ma'am, though you can call me Rube. So I suppose you've already met Sam.
Yes, he's very colorful.
Don't let him shake you. He's tough on the outside, but inside he's got a heart of stone.
I'm sure he... Pardon me? What did you say?
Never mind, just pulling your leg. Why don't you take this desk right here and we'll get you settled in?
That's very kind of you. Mr. Augustini sort of left me on my own. I have to start on this story about a burglary at the Lion Decker Museum.
This is now your desk. This is...
Laura Baines, right?
Laura Bowes, sir, and I believe you have the advantage.
Crodfaller Rhubarb, ma'am, though you can call me Rube. So I suppose you've already met Sam.
Yes, he's very colorful.
Don't let him shake you. He's tough on the outside, but inside he's got a heart of stone.
I'm sure he... Pardon me? What did you say?
Never mind, just pulling your leg. Why don't you take this desk right here and we'll get you settled in?
That's very kind of you. Mr. Augustini sort of left me on my own. I have to start on this story about a burglary at the Lion Decker Museum.
Crodfaller T. Rhubarb is one of the Trib's top writers. Among other things, he's in charge of writing obituaries, yet he's also extremely cheerful.
Please, don't touch me, Miss Bow.
I hope I'm not intruding. I mean, if you were working on the burglary story.
Miss Bow, please, it is not a problem. Yes, I'd started work on the story, but it's not your fault that it's been reassigned. That's just something I'll have to take up with Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Rube. It must be so thrilling to see your byline on a story.
I rarely get a byline on my obituaries. I seem to be pigeonholed on the obit page.
It must be so thrilling.
I rarely get...
What can you tell me about Sam?
He's a perfectionist. I badmouth him now and then, but, well, he's given me plenty of breaks, so I owe him a few.
What can you tell me about this Pippin Carter character?
A queer bird, if ever I've met one. Kinda comes across as cultured, yet he's a loudmouth, you know what I mean? He's got a chip on his shoulder the size of the Brooklyn Bridge. He'll try to cut you down, just shake it off. That's what I had to do.
What should I know about Archibald Carrington?
Carrington hasn't been in the States long. He's from England, but somehow he doesn't quite come off on the level. Call me stupid, but I just think the guy should be more concerned about museum property vanishing. His first month on the job, too.
Have you dealt with Detective O'Reilly?
I know he's assigned to the case. I didn't get anything out of him. Maybe you'll have better luck being a lady and all.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Rhubarb.
What's to tell? I'm a reporter for this paper, probably since before you were born.
But I want to know about the real Crodfaller T. Rhubarb.
You mean there's another Crodfaller T. Rhubarb? No two sets of parents could be that cruel.
That's okay, Mr. Crodfaller. You don't have to tell me about yourself if you don't want to.
Rube.
Who are you calling a... Oh, Rube's your nickname, isn't it? Sorry, I forgot. Tell me about low fat.
The old laundry guy. What's to tell?
Have you heard the name John Bow?
Don't think so. He a relative of yours?
He's my father.
Oh, Sam's friend. Never met him, I'm afraid.
Is there anything I should know about working here at the New York Daily Register News Tribune?
Well, first of all, we call it the Trib. No need to use the whole name. I don't think anyone in New York even remembers the whole shebang. Second, don't worry about Sam. He's gruff and loud, but he's really a cream puff. Don't let him push you around. Lastly, don't get too attached to any one assignment. You never know when it'll be yanked away from you and given to some less experienced reporter with no qualifications except an in with the boss.
Ahem.
Sorry, didn't mean to get peevish.
Anything I should know about the police station?
Well, it's usually a good source of information. It's standard procedure to check there at some point in any investigation. Sometimes they just blow smoke at you, hand you the commissioner's party line. But once in a while they'll give you something you can actually use.
What can you tell me about low fats?
It's a place to take your laundry. That's about it, as far as I know.
Give me the lowdown on the 12th Street docks.
Lowdown? You've been reading too much pulp fiction. The docks are the docks. Keep away from them unless you have business there.
Is there anything I should know about the Line-Decker Museum?
Yeah, I went down there. I did get that far in the investigation, at least. I met the museum's president, a stodgy old croaker named Archibald Carrington III. Cagey guy, didn't seem overly concerned about the dagger. You might see if you can get a little bit more out of him. I also spoke with a Pippin Carter. Nasty little squirt. He acts like the world owes him a living. Apparently, he's the one who's originally discovered the dagger in Egypt, along with some of the other junk in the exhibit. Now, he was hot about the dagger. Took the whole thing like it was a personal stab at him. No pun intended.
Now, what's the scoop on the flower shop?
You mean the speakeasy? The flower shop's just a cover. Look for a fella there named Ziggy. He knows a lot and tends to talk too much.
Any advice for somebody who's brand new to the city?
Well, keep your eyes off the tall buildings. That's how muggers spot you. Don't leave your luggage alone for a moment or somebody will walk off with it. And if you travel anywhere, be sure to put some money in your shoe, just in case.
Where can I find this speakeasy?
Just ask any cab driver. They'll take you there. It's the place disguised as a flower shop.
What should I do with this notebook?
You're a reporter, for heaven's sake. Surely you know to take notes.
But why does it have all these notes already in it?
Because that was my notebook, and I was taking notes in it for the burglary investigation. It's your notebook now. and I don't care to discuss it anymore.
I have a feeling 1926 is going to be a great year, don't you?
Yeah? You ever try writing obituaries for a living? Hardly a jolly way to spend the year.
Were you able to get any leads at all about the burglary at the museum?
No, hadn't been working on the story very long. I went to see Detective O'Reilly down at the police station, but he was pretty tight-lipped. I was planning on talking to Ziggy down at the speakeasy. He's a stoolie, usually good for a tidbit or two.
Any other leads I can follow up on?
With due respect, ma'am, it's going to be your byline on the story, not mine.
Point taken, Mr. Crodford. Rube. Any wisdom you'd care to pass along about Egyptology?
You've already proven to me you know as much about Egyptology as I do. Maybe more. I bow to your superior knowledge, Miss Bow.
Thank you, sir.
This is now your desk. It's very old and looks like it hasn't been cleaned thoroughly in years, but it's sturdy and serviceable. This is the top drawer of your desk. The desk drawer is locked. It looks like an old desk blotter. Feels like an old desk blotter. It looks like an old... You peel up a corner of the blotter to reveal a small, a common, everyday, ordinary key. Quite dull and boring. You pick it up and place it in your purse. It looks like an old... It looks... You only find some lint under the desk blotter. You only find... It's the first pencil holder you've ever had as an official member of the Fourth Estate. You already have... This is now... It's a waste paper basket conveniently situated next to... You find a curiously heavy object in the trash. This baseball has been autographed by Bob Ruth, Babe's unknown younger brother. Bob never made it out of the minor leagues because he was incapable of violence and therefore would not harm a baseball by hitting it with a bat. Bob eventually quit. You pick it up and place it. It's a waste paper basket. There's naught but old receipts and crumpled papers in the waste paper basket. Silence. It's a... This baseball has been autographed by Bob Ruth, Babe's unknown younger brother. Bob never made it out of the minor leagues. A common, everyday, ordinary key. Quite dull and boring, actually.